Okay, I've been speaking a lot recently to more junior candidates who are sort of entering the workplace for the first time, 2-4 years experience or fresh out of university. And this is what I'm finding, and this is an opportunity for you. It's a great opportunity if you come from a sports background, but I've been also speaking to people who have a military background, and maybe they've not served, maybe they've not kind of gone and dodging bullets and things like that, the kind of stuff that we see in films, but they've served, which means I'm finding that the difference in a 24-year-old who has served in the military, been in the military, and then a 24-year-old who's been to university, then got into a career and worked in industry a little bit, is the military guy has a level of respect for people around him. People at the same level, people who are more junior, because he's been there, and definitely people who are more senior, because he's been in a hierarchy. He's been in a situation where it's important that you respect your elders. It's an absolute fundamental. It's a foundation of what we learn growing up. You respect your elders. Maybe later in life, you kind of question that. Well, what has my elder actually done? The person I'm supposed to be respecting, what have they done to gain my respect? But initially, you give them that respect because they've been there and done that, and therefore they've maybe got something to teach you, along with the fact that that's how society should work. I think that's how you should be brought up. You should have manners to absolutely everybody. And I go a step further than that and say that no matter what somebody's position, whether it's the CEO of the company or a cleaner, you give them the same level of respect, because that is character for me. Character is who you are when nobody's watching. And what I find with speaking to these military people, from time to time, they come up and they're in engineering, they're in design, etc., is there's a level of respect they give me, and they're also, they deliver on the promises. So if they say they're going to call you back, they call you back. And I'm finding less and less that happens with like younger kind of entry-level career people, because they're kind of used to WhatsApping, texting, social media, etc., etc. Whereas the military person, if they say they're going to call you, if they promise to be available in an email, they're going to be available, because they deliver on what they say they're going to do, because that in the military is seen as life and death. If we say we're going to be there at a certain time, we're going to be there. Really important. And then I found with the military guys that a certain terminology that they will use in the military that doesn't really work in civilian life. So as they're transitioning across to a more corporate environment to civilian life, they need to literally change their language. So maybe they can't say some of the things that they've said in the military. They mean well. They mean well. It's just that in order to be understood in the corporate world, in company life, they need to then change that dialogue. But the respect is there. The work ethic is there. The discipline is there. And that's been instilled in them through military. So what I would say is, although I definitely say do not go anywhere near a war, especially if you know nothing about it, I'd always say that, is that if you're 16, or if you've got children at 16 years old, and they don't know what they want to do, and they're a bit lost in life, and they don't really understand education, or they don't really understand why they're learning things in order to pass exams in topics they're not going to take forward, if they're not grasping that, and they don't see a point in it, and they don't want to do further education because they see gaps in the industry where they can go and make money elsewhere, but they're also lost, and they have a need for more discipline and a better work ethic in their life. Sport and military are fantastic foundations where they can go and get that. So they'll be able to respect people at the same level of them. They'll be able to communicate more effectively. They'll be able to work in a team better in both of these fields, sport and military. The work ethic and being able to do something consistently and be waiting for that delayed gratification, and be able to wait a long time for that delayed gratification, not just do 6 months in a job and be waiting for a promotion, like I'm talking to lots of people. People's level of expectation on what they should be earning right now in industry with very, very little experience and with that kind of mentality of I want the freedom to work from home, etc. I get that with Generation Z, I think it is. I get it how they've been missold for maybe generations now, the American dream, and it's not coming true. And therefore they think, okay, I'll take the freedom instead, and I don't want to commute to work, and I will take the remote job. For you as an opportunity, if you're willing to be on site and be learning, as I've said before, 360, so not just the leaders, not just your managers, directors, team leaders, but also your colleagues and the people that you're mentoring and coaching below you, which is a huge skill to have. Big skills. If you can communicate effectively, if you can learn, if you can problem solve, if you can walk into something that you don't know the answer to and just say, I don't know the answer to that, but let me find out. If you have the ability to have that humility, and you can coach people and mentor people, so learn something and then be able to pass that on, you're going to fly in your career. You're going to absolutely fly, and all these skills can be learned in sport. You can kind of be coaching and mentoring more junior people at your running club. You can do that exactly the same in football. Get involved with kids. Get involved in coaching kids' sport. There's nothing more rewarding. I promise you, it's absolutely brilliant. When you see kids like from different backgrounds, they've not had the same background as you, they've not been as lucky as you, but they get to have the fruits of what you've learned and can pass on. It's very, very rewarding. And exactly the same it seems in the military. So I will say that. So it's blown me away quite recently, like speaking to, and I've always known the military is a great background, but for many reasons, and not just the work ethic and discipline and just doing something because your boss has told you to do something or your commander has told you to something, but that respectful nature, the manners, the work ethic, the discipline, the commitment, it's all there, and it serves you well, not just for the next 5 years, but for the rest of your career. And will put you into a leadership position because you're naturally, if you're from a sporting background or a military background, it instills in you natural leadership qualities.